it does make me wonder, can we actually run it upside down? Hi there everyone, welcome up to the loft here, Weir Yard, and today we've got something a bit different to break up the monotony of this self-isolation we all find ourselves in. And I got a product, when we went to visit DCC Concepts, they sent me away with a couple of products, one of which was their power base. And it got me thinking, having seen it demonstrated in the shop, whether we could take this locomotive and make it work completely upside down. So I thought it was a really good way of proving this product, seeing just what it's capable of. So stick with me and see whether I was able to do this. And this video is brought to you with the generous donation of the Powerbase system from DCC Concepts. We've got a website link for them down below, and also in association with Trainomatic, the sponsor of the channel, makers of DCC decoders and accessories. Again, you'll find some links down below, so be sure to check them out. So without further ado, come with me. I'm really intrigued by this, and I'm sure you are too. So we're all here on self-isolation lockdown, and I thought it might be quite good fun to show a product that I was given by Richard Brighton of DCC Concepts to show you guys. And this is the power base. Now it's a little bit difficult actually to film under this lighting because of the reflective nature of some of the packaging, but you can see there this is intended for HO or OO, although I guess it would work equally well underneath some of the smaller scales, but they do specific products for those. And it includes magnets and the base that goes under the track. When we went to DCC Concepts in Settle, we were able to film it in action, and I thought for a bit of fun, and just to show off really how good this product is, I'm going to try and see just how steep a gradient I can still get a locomotive to go up using that with the magnets that are all enclosed as part of the kit. You can buy magnets separately as well to add to that. Indeed, I believe that the base as well, you can buy more and more of that depending on what you need. And this is the locomotive that's going to be our guinea pig. It's 11250 LMS liveried Hornby XL&Y Pug. Now it does feel quite heavy. If I can't get the lead weight out of this, I may actually turn to a Hunslet Austerity from Hornby, because I do know how to easily remove the ballast weight from that. And you may be asking yourself, why do you want to remove the ballast weight? Well, my aim is to see just how steep an incline these can go up, to the point where I almost feel like you could turn that upside down and the locomotive would stay put on the track.
Well, your little pug that you've got, if we put a couple of those Neo magnets on, it would actually, it would probably stick upside down.
You'd have to have a very careful choice of locomotive.
Yes, you would.
And it would probably be as well to remove the lead that's in the boiler as well, to make it as light as possible, because effectively all you want is the magnet to hold it to the track. Well, it would be a great demonstration of the product if we can do that. But feeling the weight on this locomotive, I'm beginning to wonder that actually, unless I can remove the ballast weight that sits inside the boiler relatively easily, might be better off to turn to a J94 Hunslet Austerity, because I do know how to get the weights out of that. But we'll see how we go. What else am I going to need? I'm going to just put the locomotive to one side. I'm going to put the power base to one side. And I have got this, and it came out of Bolton Trinity Road out in the shed. It's just a chunk of the baseboard. It was actually an extension to the baseboard that I put in as an additional, long after I'd actually built most of the layout, with a disused siding on. Now, that's not what I'm going to be using for running the trains on. This actually happens to be quite a handy piece of spare wood. And because of the lockdown, getting bits of wood is a little bit trickier than normal. So I'm going to improvise with the underside of this, just as a proof of concept of the DCC Concepts power base system. Now, from also out in the shed, formerly from the garden line, I've cut a piece of the scrap track. This was stuff that was salvaged. Didn't end up getting used up here in the loft in Weir Yard, but I've spent about 20 minutes chiselling an awful lot of the detritus off. It was actually part of the garden line, so it had been ballasted with a mix of sand and cement, actually. And it had also been stuck down using bitumen paint. So I'm going to clean that up enough that we can make use of this. It's vaguely straight, but the power base product is designed that it's eminently flexible to go underneath curved track, point work, all sorts. So I don't see it as being a problem. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put that track to one side. And we're going to open up the power base product and going to see just what we get inside here. These are the metal bases that go underneath the track. They come with a protective film on just to stop any moisture getting in there. We're going to split these up, clean them up, and then what I can then do is lay a line of them along here. I'm going to see about the best way to fit these down. There's actually quite a weight to these. All I've got available is Speed Bond glue. I'm going to try it with that, but I've got a lot of spare track pins as well, and I'm going to put some of them in just to try and hold it down. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get that done, and then I'll come back and show you where I'm up to before we start laying the track, and it just gives you an idea of the stages you go through. They're not really useful to add to an existing scenic railway, but if you're at the building stage, that is the perfect point to put these in. Now, at the time of recording this, DCC Concepts are still open for mail order, so you can still get these products, but don't go to the shop in Settle, because you're all supposed to be isolating, and anyway, when you get there, you'll find it all locked down, and they'll shoo you away with a big long stick poked out of the letterbox. So let's get on, and let's get these laid. So I've got these all laid out. It's not necessary for them to butt exactly up to each other. And actually, just reading through the instructions on the back, this is easier than I thought. So just looking here, it says they've just used PVA, and that's adequate to do the job. You just got to make sure that they're weighted down. So I'm going to use something to apply an even pressure. They recommend a piece of wood, lay some bricks on top, and just let it dry that way. So I'm going to work something out, but as per their instructions, actually I think with Speed Bond, I've put it in one of the other deluxe materials products. I reuse these because they're really good applicators for this product. So we're just going to go ahead, and as it says, a couple of millimeters gap between them is absolutely fine. So I guess we just want to put some glue on the backs. Just get it nicely covered. Not sure if there's an up and a down for these. I'm not really sure it matters. They're made of a stainless steel, so they shouldn't rust. And I'm going to put the first one down over here. And I'm just going to move along like that. Now, Deluxe Materials do sell specific adapters, applicators even, for applying the Speed Bond. But I've also used the leftover bottles from Ballast Magic, the powder adhesive. They seem to be pretty much the same bottles and nozzles, so it's always a good idea to keep these. If you do use that product, keep hold of them and use them as spares. So actually it doesn't need any addition of track pins. We can just weight these down. When it comes time to lay the track over the top, I'm going to try and use a few track pins. The idea being that that'll just help secure things. But I'll just make sure that they line up with the gaps between these, or even with the slight holes through them. So. And as the instructions say, you can use these in anywhere up to radius 1, which if you've got a gradient, say, it's a great way of improving the adhesion with your locomotives without actually adding dead weight. I think a lot of people think, oh, just put more ballast in, but that gives you dead weight, which can be self-defeating, strains the motor, and the locomotive's still got to haul that extra weight around the layout. With these, the only extra weight really is the magnets, which don't actually weigh an awful lot, but they're kind of, for want of a better expression, sucking the locomotive through magnetism down onto these tracks. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to use the piece of track that I'm going to use as a way of spreading the weight of what I'm going to place on top of there to hold those down whilst the glue dries. Speed Bond, as the name suggests, does dry quite quickly, so shouldn't be too long. I'm just going to get this set up, leave it be, going to go and get a drink, go and do something else. I'll come back probably a couple of hours and then we're ready to lay the track on top. Whilst that glue is drying, I'm going to turn to the locomotive and fitting the magnets. So in the kit we get all these little screws and actually give you a very small drill bit as well. And then of course we've got the magnets across here. So just going to give myself a bit of space and use some of these magnets. I appear to have one missing there. I don't know whether that's... I suspect it's just a spare slot in the packaging. Whoa, you can see just how powerful these magnets are. Just the way they they really do attract to this power base very, very intensively. So I've got every faith that, oh gosh, come on, get off there. I'm going to actually remove the spare power base out of the packaging because it's oh my word, they're very strong neodymium magnets, and it's just incredible how fast that they actually attract the metal to. So if we look here, installing power base magnets, the power base plate magnets are not simple neo-magnets. Oh, so I'm wrong. All of our custom-made magnets are more strongly charged than is usual for neo supermagnets, so that they will pack lots of energy into quite a small space. They recommend that you install 2 per locomotive. I think if we want this locomotive to run upside down, we're going to have to go all in and just see how many magnets we can pack on there. The packaging insert is also the magnet mounting pouches. Carefully cut the pouches to fit neatly between brake gear within the width of the loco base plate. Trim the pouch ends neatly. Be sure to leave a few millimetre as a mount tab each end. In the pouch, let's have a look. So we've got a whole bunch of little screws and we've got the magnets. Now I'm coming to look through these for the first time. These are held in by a bit of tape actually. What I'm going to do is, this is going to be tricky because it's attracting my Stanley knife blade quite powerfully, it seems. Let's just see, can we get these out? They are very strong. Let's just see how close they go before... Oh! So you can see, boom, there they go. I wonder whether they're more powerful. If I have 3, one on top of the other, I don't know if that's more powerful. Have I been stupid? Oh! Right, I wonder if that's more or less powerful than 1. Yeah, might be. Oh gosh, they're so difficult to part. It's weird. I just saw them just off camera. They just, you see them wobble and then straight across to each other. I'm not sure. They are attracted to those screws. So what I suspect is that I might just see about gluing them in. Yeah, I'm just looking there. A single magnet is set up so it won't foul the track. It's about level with the top face. I've made a boo-boo by letting these stick together. They really do attract each other quite strongly. So I'm looking here, and I'm thinking that it's actually pulling it out of... is this the pouch they talk about? Oh, I see. So, rather than gluing the magnet, we could glue the pouch and the magnet would still come out. Oops. I'm sure actually we could probably fit a whole host of extra ones. Yeah, down with the couplings. I could see we could get probably 2 at each end doing that. So I think one there, one over here. Let's just see. They're actually sticking to the locomotive fairly well, all on their own. So I think, oh, a little dab of glue. Might use super glue and do them one at a time. So I followed the instructions and then gone way overboard. So you can see there the entire kit's supply of magnets. I've got 2 on the back, 2 at the very front, and then these 2 fitted in just there. Now this magnet would have to be removed to run this over point work because it does protrude below rail height. But for this experiment, we're going to see where we get to. Now, one thing I did find is that you have to be a little bit careful about having too many magnets at one end of these locos. Otherwise, it quite literally just causes the locomotive to tip up as those magnets desperately try and seek the track and overpower the ones at the back. So you need to really spread them out across the entire length of the loco if you can. I've done my best with the space, but I've really tried to go overboard with this because I want to see if I can get it to run upside down. They're held on with a dab of super glue. The reason for this is because if you don't glue them, yes, the magnets will attract them to screws and other bits in the chassis, but then the weight of the loco may overcome that and they just end up getting pulled off onto the track. So I don't really want that. So there's the locomotive setup. I'm going to put that to one side, and then we're going to revisit the rest of the glue, see how that is doing, how that is taking. So I've cleaned up this piece of track as best I can. As I said before, it was out in the garden, but just tried to bend it back into shape. It's not quite right, but when I offer it up to the metal base, largely goes in the right place. So what I want to do now is I'm going to get some more of that speed bond and I'm going to coat the sleepers on the back of the track and then place it down on top of the power base, weight it down. In fact, actually, I'm going to drill a few holes, get some track pins in as well. But I'm going to crack on and do that now. So I'll probably do a time lapse. So the glue's on and it's just now a case of... offering up this track. Let's get it onto the power base, stick that down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a few track pins, so in locations where the sleepers are over some of these gaps, I'm going to make sure that I can put a pin or something through there just to help hold things a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Got the track glued on, power base underneath, and you'll see here I've actually cut up one of the power base strips to provide extra ability for the magnets to pull the locomotive to the track. The reason for this was when I did a test run with the locomotive just sat on the track, once you lifted it over a certain point, the locomotive would just sort of slide down the track. And this is because of the inverse square for the magnet's power. That means that if you move it a little bit away from the power base, it's an inverse square. The actual adhesion, as it were, the attraction of the magnet to the steel, falls off at an ever-increasing rate. So even just adding this little bit of metal between the track, raised up to above sleeper height, does mean that when we take the locomotive, and I've taken one of these magnets off, it didn't appear to need it, it really, really is quite stuck on there. So what I might try and do is remove another magnet, just see whether it copes okay like that. But what I have found is that, let's just see now, if I turn it onto its side, the locomotive does stay put, and that locomotive is held there just by the magnets. The only potential problem that I found, which is one of the reasons I want to remove one of the magnets if I can, is that, to be honest, it's overpowering the motor. The amount of pull down onto the wheels is just making the locomotive tend to buzz angrily. So I've got this wired up, and there we go. On its side, oh gosh, that really is quite fearsome, that magnet. I'm going to juice it up. It's struggling no end, and I'm actually really worried about burning out this motor. Such is the amount of, I mean, it's the equivalent of just sort of sitting a 1 kilo weight or something on top of the locomotive when it's trying to run. But so powerful, these magnets. But yeah, there you are, and you know, I can turn it upside down and give it a shake, and that locomotive is staying put there. So it does seem to struggle a little bit, and what you tend to find is, you can see there, once the magnet at the front really gets a grip, it can overpower the ones at the back, and vice versa as well, and you end up with the locomotive kind of lifting off. So I'm going to see if I remove another one of these magnets, will that still stick to the track? And actually, yeah, I'm going to see if I can get rid of another magnet, and this is all about reducing the actual strain on the locomotive. So we're down to 3 magnets, and actually that feels as though, yeah, on the modified track where I've put the power strip in the middle, that is actually a lot better. So let me just it probably doesn't have as much, I think the track is just a little bit dirty, or the wheels are just a little bit dirty, and you can, it's amazing to watch. I've got this locomotive running on its side, and that is, you know, just to show you, there's no trick about this. It's on its side. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's see, can I get a spirit level here? Yeah, there you have it. Pretty much, I'm vertical here. Can you actually see the little bubble there? So that's vertical, and let's just offer that up. So can you just see that? It's very difficult to show you. There you go. So that's vertical. You can just see on the spirit level bubble, and it's quite an angry buzz from the locomotive. I don't want to do this too much, but there you have it. This is it. We've got it all together. I've soldered on some wires on the end. I'm just using a cheap Hornby analog controller that I had left over from a review that we did last year. And here's the locomotive on the track. And in terms of steepness, what will it go up? So we've got it at a fairly gentle gradient. This is probably about 5, maybe 6%, which is actually steeper than you would normally use. And the locomotive is getting up there pretty readily. Just a bit of a dirty contact on the track. It is recycled track, so that's fine. Let's try and get this a little bit steeper. Come to that. So this now is well above what you would normally expect a locomotive to be able to go up with normal adhesion. And that's doing all right there. There's a bit of a dirty spot on the track just there. Oops. Just to prove that there's no tricks involved here other than magnets. Let's try and get this even steeper. We're now going well beyond. Let's see. It's staying put. So let's go for it. Oops. Let's try again. I think we've reached our limit just there, but my secret weapon is I've added an extra layer above the sleepers. So let's go above and beyond. Let's put it where effectively the magnets are now closer to the metal strip. Remember that inverse square law? Well, let's see. There she goes. That is actually quite astounding. Will it go any steeper? That really is quite steep. The fact that the locomotive is just sat there is quite amazing. I suspect that the motor is going to really not like this. It's wanting to. Let's give it a bit of a nudge. I think that's pretty much about the limit for steepness. It's actually the locomotive's motor is really not liking that, and what I'm really worried about is burning the motor out. But it's not actually falling off. It's still not falling off. What amazes me is that the power base is actually more powerful, as it were, than the locomotive is capable of, to the point where I can put this on its side and the locomotive will move. And let's see, will this work upside down? I mean, this is just incredible. So there we go. It really does. Where that strip is. That is amazing. It's very hard to. The magnets are quite powerful, but there you are. It works. Well, I never. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. I did wonder, maybe a bit of fun, a bit of bragging. I thought that it would almost become like a clickbait title and we'd have to take a photograph and turn it upside down. But actually, we're not going to have to. It really does work. And it's just testament to how effective this DCC Concepts Power Base kit is. Don't forget that we've got some affiliate links down below for the Locomotive if you want to get one of these fine Hornby Pug locomotives. They're still available at a really good price. And also there's a link down there to the DCC Concepts Power Base system. And despite the lockdown, they're still available mail order. So really good. Actually, they're intended to improve traction on things like gradients and just better power pickup all round. But with an extreme test like this, boy, did that work out. But without further ado, don't forget to like this video and share it as well. Let other people know. Let's see if we can get this video to go viral. And don't forget as well that if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. You'll be the first one to know about new videos as and when they go up. But until next time, you take really good care of yourself and I'll see you again. And let's keep this fun during this lockdown. Bye for now. Today's video is sponsored by Trainomatic. makers of DCC decoders designed to be fully compatible with every manufacturer's locomotive. Visit train-o-matic.com to browse the full range and see what they've got suitable for you. I'd like to send out a huge thanks to everybody who supports me on Patreon. And an extra special huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Michael Churchwood, Anthony Hunt, William Wade, Wayne Johns, Offshore Allen, oorail.co.uk, Tepic, Michael Lockie, Helen Sink, Peter Bolton, Brian Smith, and Brian and Dorothy Mudd. Thank you. Without you guys, I couldn't do this.